Hey, it's Decoy from DecoyNoise, and today we're going over more Am I the Antagonist story, with today's theme being neighbors. Good neighbors, bad neighbors, just neighbors overall, because today's featured post is, would I be the antagonist for suing my neighbor for filming me and posting it? So before we get into all the stories right now, I did want to highlight our Decoy of the day, which is going to be Ayeni. Ayeni's been around since the original 100 or 1,000 subscribers, so it's good to see that he's still in the community, but he does have a question about his relationship, so we do want to give him some feedback. So stick around. Instead of story 3, we're going to have Ayeni's post about relationship advice, and if you've never posted before, I really want everybody here, if you have some good input, to go ahead and register for YouTube or Reddit and drop your comments in the comment section to help him out. But let's go ahead and get back to the story number 1, which is OP saying, I'm trying to keep this short. I, a 22-year-old male, am a professional dancer. I'm visiting my parents for a few weeks, and they have a small training room for me in this basement. So I was there, trained some stuff for the upcoming show, beginning with restrictions. Let it begin. And later in the day, I scrolled through Instagram. On Instagram, I have seen that my neighbor, a 20-year-old female, filmed me and posted it into her story. It was not a short clip, it was a whole bunch of stuff, about 3 minutes worth of clips. I texted her and told her, please delete the clips, and she said the dancing was really good and that she will not delete it, as many of her followers, 8,000 plus, love it, and she offered to put a shout out into her story. What the heck? I've got a private Instagram account with 54 followers and I do not care. So, 1, I don't even know her. We added on Instagram after a short chat and never talked again. I live 500 miles away. The thing is now, I feel violated in my privacy. I mean, I have no problem getting seen or filmed, but not at home. And for me, an even more important fact, on that video have been some trick steps effects that should not have been seen until the live reveal on stage. I'm thinking about suing her for this. I do not feel comfortable with getting my private stuff posted. Would I be the antagonist? So before we rush into the actual official Decoy court, I'd just say my knee-jerk reaction to this situation is this is way out of line, and one of those, I think it's called a litmus test. Maybe I'm getting that word wrong, but just a standard test with this situation should be if you switch the genders. If it was a 22-year-old female and a 20-year-old male filming somebody in their garage and posting it on Instagram saying, no, I'm not going to delete it. I like this. This is, all my fans like it. I'll tag you in it if you want. Like, that's a bizarre thing right there. So I'm going to go ahead and say my pre-trial motion is that they are the antagonist. To give them their fair shake is, maybe they've talked about dancing before, and maybe it wasn't like through the side glass window of a garage. It was a wide open door, but even that seems a little bit off. But let's go ahead and get to those top comments to see if we can get a better handle on the situation. So the next reply, or the top reply was, LOL, she offered a shout out to an actual person that she spied on and filmed in their private space and then posted without their knowledge? How magnanimous of her. Don't know what that is. Not the antagonist. I would even let your dance company know that your practice was filmed and posted without your knowledge and they were refusing to take it down. They might already have lawyers on retainer specifically to protect their shows. Very true. And the next reply was from OP saying, I will tell my crew in a few hours. We got a Zoom call. Wow, if this whole stress is so unnecessary. True. And the next reply was, you might also try to take down the request on Instagram directly. You use words like trademarked as it's a professional group and copyright violation, etc. Use of our routines and likeness without permission damages our trademarked image and our routines are copyrighted. Very, very true. And I think that's if he didn't already say, hey, take this down, that'd be a little bit over the top. But no, he's already had a conversation with her saying, take this down. And now she's saying, no, I won't do it. So that may be the appropriate next step. Next reply would be, you would most definitely not be the antagonist. She committed a crime by filming you, sharing with thousands of other people, and most importantly, refusing to delete it after you told her to. If she doesn't respect your rights, you have every right to report her behavior to the police. I mean, if she wouldn't do something wrong, the police won't do anything, right? So if there are consequences for her, they would solely be because of her own actions. And keep proof of the story so you have evidence. And the reply is, getting a screen recording of it right now. Thanks for reminding me. Okay, so they're giving OP some good advice. The next reply being, you can take the step of just reporting it to Instagram and having them remove it before you go out and sue her, LMAO. And the reply is, will Instagram react? I mean, within 24 hours, the story will be gone. 4 hours left. And that is very true, is maybe he needs to go the other steps. Like, if we're thinking about this as like a dance company where they're just doing small shows on YouTube and it's not like, a big thing, but what if this is like, this guy's a part of like Cirque du Soleil over in Vegas and some of the moves they're doing are copyrighted trademark material, which would damage their their standing, or like, you know, the allure behind having such a prestigious dance company. Or maybe she has friends of people that are his direct competition that could use that routine earlier on, a la Bring It On, or what was that cheerleading movie that they did something similar to that? But yeah, essentially that right there. So we've seen the top comments. Let's go ahead and see what the controversial people are saying right now, saying, you probably don't need to sue. Just ask again that you would really like her to remove it, and that you would feel your privacy was violated. Suing is a very last resort. If she still doesn't, then report it on Instagram. And I do agree with this, because suing should be the last resort, because everybody's very, like, you know, trigger happy with, like, I'm gonna get my parents to sue you as a kid, and they do the whole that, oh, I'm gonna own your dance company now because you offended me online or something. And the thing is, it might actually cost OP some money. Maybe the dance company doesn't have a lawyer on retainer or anything like that, where it would be more trouble than it's worth. Hopefully a strongly worded letter, or more of just a strike on Instagram's like copyright guidelines, will get the message across. So hopefully they don't have to actually show up in court, drive out to the courthouse, present the evidence, get a suit, do all that stuff. Like, I mean, I know it sounds like all justified that you can get her to take it down and you can get your way, but sometimes it's just more trouble than it's worth. So the next controversial post is, I need more information. It sounds like you left out important context that would help us make a decision. If it was a basement, how did the neighbor get in, and how did she film you without your knowledge? If you invited her, then how did she film you without your knowledge? If you both invited her in and allowed you to film you, then you're the antagonist, and unfortunately a civil complaint will not make it very far, since the footage is proprietary and belongs to her. If the neighbor snuck in and secretly recorded you, then not the antagonist. You should take her to court. And it's good because OP came back to say, there is a window to the basement where you can see inside from the street. It is knee level when you are next to it. But a bit further away, there is a small garden between the street and the window. You could see into the room pretty well. Plus, the window was open because it got pretty hot. Okay, so we're ready to just skip all the other pre-trial motions. We're going straight to Decoy court right now. And for the simple fact that it wasn't that she was over there, they're friends, they record, they dance together, or anything like that. It's the fact that she got in a bush, peeped through the window, and just filmed on the phone like, oh my God, look at this guy right here. Which is, that's practically peeping right there. I think it's pretty much a crime. So possibly suing, possibly pressing criminal charges against her. Like, there's a whole slew of things. And also with that same test we were talking about before, where the whole if you switch the genders, a dude meets a girl for like a couple hours and adds them on Instagram, gets their phone number, and then just goes up to their garage door window or basement window and secretly films it and posts it and like narrates it. Oh my God, she's such a good dancer. Wow, I love all these dance moves. And no, I'm not gonna take it down. Like, this is creepy for one, and I bet you, I don't want to jump to conclusions, but this is probably not the first time he's been recorded, just the first time she's posted it. So 100% OP, you are not the antagonist. You should probably go to the fullest extent of the law to try to figure out, make it very blatantly clear, do not record me in my basement, nor post it either. So I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. But let's go ahead and get to the next story right now. But before we do that, make sure you guys are giving me your comments down below. Or if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe down below. But none of my my panhandling followers right now. The next post was, am I the antagonist for not letting my neighbors use my Wi-Fi anymore? So OP wrote, that's not it. I'm a 26-year-old male. Internet is pretty crappy, so let me start off by saying it only works for one device. I got the cheapest plan because I started some online classes and I was only going to use it for that. My neighbors have a 13-year-old son who's in school and doing everything online. Before his class started, they asked if they could use my Wi-Fi for his school during the day since I'm at work and my classes aren't until later on. I said yeah, and this is when the problem started. The first week I'm having troubles logging into my classes and my laptop was being very slow. I checked my Wi-Fi and it was connected, so I didn't see the problem. I assumed maybe my neighbors were still connected, so I went next door. Turns out my neighbors were using it to watch Netflix on their tablet and they apologized. These incidents kept on happening. On weekends, when I would try to go to work on homework or submit assignments, my internet would be super slow and I'd have to walk over and ask them to stop using it. Every time they'd act like they forgot they were using my Wi-Fi and they said it wouldn't happen again. A few times I told them that I was going to change my password because this was only supposed to be so their son could take his classes, not for them to watch movies or for their son to play video games online. They will always swear they won't do it again, but then the same thing happens. The last straw was for me on Friday. I got home early from work because there was an assignment that needed to be submitted by 5. The assignment was mostly finished. I just needed to do some last minute edits, then submit it. When I got home, my stupid Wi-Fi was lagging again, and I got so angry. My time was wasted going next door, knocking for like 20 minutes because they weren't answering their door, telling them to stop using my Wi-Fi because I had work to do. They apologized for the millionth time because they didn't realize I was home early. Anyways, my assignment was not submitted by 5, so a few points were taken off. Not a lot, but I was still pissed off. That was it for me, and I changed my Wi-Fi password, went to my neighbors, and told them their son was gonna have to find another way to access his classes by Monday. They tried pleading with me because he needs the internet for the classes, but I already gave them too many chances. They came to my door on Monday after work and they asked if I changed my mind. My neighbors said that they had to drop their son off at their friend's house for class because it was better for him to be at home? What? Okay. I told them I'm not going to let him use it again because they're only going to take advantage, and I already gave them too many chances. His wife wasn't happy with this and said I'm ruining her son's education before they left. Was I the antagonist for that? If they had just been using my wife for their kid's school, we wouldn't have any problems. But they kept taking advantage, and I didn't know how else to make this a stop. So before we enter official Decoy court, my knee-jerk reaction right here is they were trying to put the blame on OP, saying, hey, you're ruining my kid's chances to getting good grades in school and using it. It's like, no, OP didn't do it. The parents ruined it by abusing the privileges of using their Wi-Fi. Like I always say, and I catch flack for it in the comment section and probably lose subscribers for it, is, hey, if someone's doing you a favor, be appreciative, be gracious, be nice to them. Don't try to push your luck and say, well, why are you limiting my ability to take advantage of you? I hate that. But, before we deliver a definitive Decoy court reaction, let's go ahead and get to the top comments right now saying, not the antagonist. It was kind of you to try to help, but that's your service and Wi-Fi. And then the reply to that was, yep, 100% not the antagonist. Your Wi-Fi. When I didn't have internet, I had a small class outside of school for ukulele. It was for about a month. When my parents realized he gave me the password to his internet so I could use an app on my tablet to practice, they just politely came over and offered to pay to use it. Simple as that. Whatever those people did is totally unacceptable though. Good luck on your exams, by the way. And that's 100% true. The next reply being 100% not the antagonist. They're taking advantage of you and using you for your free stuff. They're ruining their own son's education. Also, now that everything's gone to online schooling, there are tons of places where parents can get free or reduced priced internet. They're just being lazy. And the one thing I would say about that is it depends on what country they live in. Like, I feel like in LA, I don't really know of any internet services that only do like one tablet at a time or one device at a time. So this could be like a third world nation where internet's hard to come by. So I wouldn't be too quick to say that. Next reply, not the antagonist. If your neighbors want Wi-Fi, they can pay for it themselves, just like everyone else does. And which is 100% true. So all the replies seem to be down the same lines of, they're the antagonist, don't worry OP, they're taking advantage of you. But sometimes in the controversial section, we can get some pretty entertaining stuff, or some people that know how to defend the indefensible when I don't know how to do it for myself in the Decoy defense. So let's see if we can find some of that over here in the replies. So this person's saying, I kind of want to say you're the antagonist for waiting so long to cut them off so you missed a deadline. Don't listen to the mom, they're the parents. Why the heck should you provide anything for their kids' education? But anyways, not the antagonist because you finally saw the light. And they're saying you're the antagonist because it took him so long. He was just trying to be a nice guy, so I don't think that you can say you're the antagonist. He was actually even being more polite in the sense of changing the password and then telling them, hey, you have the entire weekend to figure out new arrangements for your son. Like, he didn't need to do that. He's actually still taking responsibility for the kid's life, so no, I don't like that. And then the other comment that was deleted by the user, and someone that got a little bit downvoted was, you're not the antagonist for cutting him off. No one questioned there, but you're the antagonist to yourself for not thinking in the first place. Never ever share your Wi-Fi with strangers ever. You don't know what they're gonna do with it. Missing your assignment deadline was your own fault. Instead of knocking for 20 minutes on their door, you could have just cut their connection and changed the password. Your neighbor's inability to provide internet for their son should be none of your concern, so why bother? And you bought the cheapest plan for yourself but allowed a whole family access. Of course it's going to be slow and lagging. I think the whole ordeal was a mistake you won't forget. So yes, over in Decoy court, I'm going to say that I do agree with the whole idea with, you should have seen this coming a mile away, but maybe they're neighbors, maybe they collect each other's mail and watch each other's cat and water the plants when they go on vacation. They have a good, running relationship, so they thought that they could just probably have a cool relationship where they go back and forth and say, what, you needed some help on assignments? Well, I'm at work anyway, so yeah, between the hours of 9 to 5, have your son turn in his assignments, use the video chat. Why wouldn't you want to do that as a neighbor? Because the thing is, as you grow older and if you're like a lone person living by yourself, having good neighbors really helps you out as far as the whole like adage, oh, asking for some sugar from the neighbors and stuff, but just, you know, burglars and, you know, safety. And if you lose your power in your house and you need to go over there to make a phone call on their cell phone or something, you want to have good neighbors, you want to have a good relationship. The whole like, oh, never trust your neighbors, you should never forget this lesson, I think is the wrong lesson to come away from this over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that OP is not the antagonist, and if there was an antagonist in the story, it's gotta be the neighbors, those parents, you know, trying to guilt trip OP and saying, you're the reason my son is missing out on school, how dare you, blah, blah, just give us one chance, when they purposely were just watching Netflix and taking advantage of the situation. No, they need to grow up. They're mature adults with kids. They need to start figuring things out for themselves. But finally, on the last story over here, which is the Decoy story, where our Koi, Ayeni, wants to know when to ask a girl out. So, Ayeni wrote, I, a 24-year-old male, work in an upscale clothing store in the United Kingdom on a 0 hours contract, which means the shifts are honestly few and far in between. Even worse is the fact that the girl I'm interested in, a 20-year-old female, is also on a 0 hours contract, which means we literally have no idea when we'll have a shift together. We both work in the stockroom, and every shift we've had together has been awesome. We get along really well, and I genuinely think we vibe well, but here's the issue. I feel our vibe is really friendly when she calls me bro in an endearing way, and part of me feels that this means she sees me as more of a friend. Secondly, much like OP in the above story, I don't want to make her feel uncomfortable by asking her out when it feels as though she clearly sees me as a friend. At the same time, I'm used to developing crushes and then never acting on them until it's too late, and I hate to regret not asking her out. She also told me a while back that whenever a guy wanted to ask a girl out, they'd ask to rub her head. Apparently it was for good luck. Got a chuckle out of that story and recently thought I'd love to incorporate that into asking her out. Maybe that's overkill. The biggest issue is that we actually haven't worked together much, and because of how our contracts work, and this may end up coming across as though I'm jumping the gun. I'm probably overthinking this, and I'd love some advice. I'll clear up any extra information needed too. So in a very unique story, because this is just for the Decoy core, this is an r/DecoyNoise over on Reddit, so you can give him advice on r/DecoyNoise or in the comment section over here, but be gentle because this is one of our own, don't be all mean to him. But so we'll just kind of break it down. This is Decoy court because we're judging him? I don't know. So the first part is, cool, you work with a girl, you barely know her, and the only way you're gonna get to know her to see if you guys mesh well or like each other is spending more time together. You don't know if she's gonna quit the job tomorrow, and the next hour she's gonna work there for 6 years, you're gonna get fired for something random, she's gonna move countries, you just don't know that or anything. So the whole idea is, there's no time like the present. The next time you see her, you just have to ask her out. There's no reason not to. And the thing is, though, is if you start looking into things like she calls me bro, and the whole like, you know, I'm developing crushes and not saying this, like, you never know what the psychology of the girl is if they like you or not. Like, from my personal experience, if a girl likes you, if she's normally loud, she might kind of get quieter around the person she likes. If she's super quiet, she might get super loud and jokey and, like, you know, touchy-feely around the guy they do like. You just don't know the situation, and it's a thing where you just can't judge anything based on, well, she said bro, and then she touched my shoulder, so that means this and this. No, F that. You don't know any of that. You're just guessing it. So the whole idea is, I kind of think this or that. It's like, if you like her, that's the only question you need to ask. The whole what's the analogy? It was it's not a sense of like, I only wanted to ask out the girls that like me. It's like, no, only ask out the girls that you like, and you want to figure out if you vibe together, not trying to get them to like you or get them to like you, or you already like love them and all of a sudden you're developing all these different ideas in your head of how they're like. It's just, hey, I like her, let's see how things are. The whole thing is like the whole, oh, whenever a guy you wanted to ask a girl out, they rub her head for good luck. Absolutely do not incorporate that in the asking her out. It's got to be a spur of the moment thing where when you're asking her out, it's not a thing where you've been thinking about it, posting online, thinking about the girl for too long, and really, like, you know, trying to figure out the best way to go about it. It's got to be a casual, hey, what's up? What are you doing after work today? Cool. Hey, do you want to go hang out and maybe grab a coffee, grab this, or do something? If you guys have a shared interest, maybe incorporate that. The best way, I feel like, is having a good social life. So it's like, hey, I have a group of people that are going to be doing this fun thing. Do you want to come along? Super low pressure, come out there. If you want to be a little more assertive, saying, hey, I don't know if I'm going to work here next week. Do you want to hang out and do something? And like, let me reach out and call you sometime. Be very direct, be very honest. None of this, well, you know, maybe you can help me get a job later on, or maybe we study sometime. Like, that is not direct. That doesn't exude self-confidence. It's got to be you asking her out as a girl you're interested in her you're interested in going to sleep with her. You're interested in sleeping with her. That's a weird way for me to put it, but I'm censoring myself. Just let her know that you're interested in that. If she rejects you, cool, you barely work with her, you won't even see her any other time, and it's better to know now and walk away from the situation and just instantly delete that from your head. If you let this drag on, you're always gonna think, man, I like that girl, man, I wonder if she's ever gonna work. When's the next time I'm gonna have a shift with her? Oh, is that her coming in? Oh, no, it's not. No, none of that stuff right there. Just know you're better off knowing if she rejects you, instantly delete the whole crush from your head and move on, it's okay. The idea is, you don't want to exude the whole idea of overthinking. Well, there's only one thing that makes you overthink it more, is actually doing this sort of thing. So no fault on you. You seem like a young guy and you always have good feedback and a good head on your shoulders. So I'm sure she's more than excited to hang out with you. And the thing is, one other thing I want to give you to take away from this is, you don't know what's going on in her life, so if she rejects you, it's more of a reflection on whatever she has in her life. Maybe she has a boyfriend already, she's really overburdened by school, she's not ready to date yet, or she's about to go leave countries or go somewhere else to, like, she's going to the States to go to college or something, so she doesn't want to be wrapped up with something. So it's not really a reflection of you. So when you ask a girl out and she wants to hang out with you, cool, you get to know somebody new, but if she says no, maybe there's something else going on in her life that just isn't compatible with what you want to do. So don't take it personally, just be like, okay, cool, she's not in the same place I am right now, so you separate and you move ways. But that's my input, my feedback, or whatever it is right there. I mean, hopefully you guys are seeing this post and liking my feedback, so maybe you want to subscribe as well. Join the Decoy Corps, get involved, start to give us comments and feedback, and maybe if you have a story as well, you can post in the comments section. Let me know you want me to cover it on a video itself. I'll post it on r/DecoyNoise, and we'll go through it, and hopefully this kind of sparks off some community with the Decoy Koi Pond, where everybody helps each other out, and maybe you guys like it, and maybe you just absolutely hate it. Like, oh my god, Decoy, your dating advice is terrible. Nobody would ever date you with your weird headband and curly hair that I have no idea how I got this genetically. But as always, if you made it this far in the video, I want to say I appreciate you hanging out with me. You're seeing the upvotes, you're seeing the likes, the hearts. Make sure you're liking the video, make sure you're subscribing, the notifications on, and make sure if you know someone that wants to see this type of content, even though it's hard to describe, just go ahead and share either the channel or this video in particular with somebody you know, and maybe we can get past the 2,000 subscribers we have right now. So if nothing else, go ahead and put this on autoplay and watch the next episode of DecoyNoise coming up next.